This is Dr. Tom Roselle. After 38 years of practice and almost 1 million patient visits, the Roselle Center for Healing knows what works and knows how you can take control of your health and wellness. My team of doctors practice 21st century integrative medicine. Whether you suffer from chronic pain and fatigue, allergies, or headaches, we can help. Take charge of your health before it's too late. Make an appointment today. Call 703-698-7117 or visit online at rosellecare.com. Finding out the Affordable Care Act isn't so affordable that you can't keep your doctor or you have to pay an annual fee just to be a member of a practice? That preventive care really means take this pill for the rest of your life? I'm Dr. Tom Roselle, and one day I will show you how to take control of your health and avoid a lifetime of drugs and probable surgeries. Join me for Ageless Health 2014, a day that will change your life forever. For details and registration, visit agelesshealth2014.com or call 703-698-7117.
Dr. Tom Roselle live right now on 105.9 FM and AM 630 WMAL.
Welcome to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. This is Dr. Tom Roselle live in studio. Love to take your phone calls on any subject that you have in mind, no matter what it happens to be. You've been bugged, you've been trying, you've been applying, you can't get rid of the problem that you've been plagued with for so many years. Well, here's an opportunity. Let's talk about it. 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. Let's see if we can walk you through the web a little bit and make sense to that insensible, nonsensible thing that you've been playing with. There's a why is that for everything. You know, that anything that has happened to you in your life, health-wise, and actually anything else that has happened to you as well, there is a why is that. There's a timeline. There's things that have happened over a period of time. And see, a thing that you have to really understand is that the more you understand why, then the easier the fix is. But if you don't understand why it started, you don't understand when it started, you don't understand what the background exacerbating situations have been over time, then you can't fix anything. So you have to look at it from a paradigm of why is that. The whole concept of Ageless Health is one that we have been embracing for many years at the Roselle Center for Healing, and it's one that I lecture on to students, doctors, patients across the country and in other countries as well. What I want you to know about that is that you have the birthright to be able to fix and change virtually anything that ever happens to you, no matter what it is. Your body is perfectly designed to turn anything around at any time if you give it the opportunity, but you have to understand what it is that you're doing that is irritating to begin with. We look at a triad of health. Visualize, if you will, for a moment, an equilateral triangle, and the base is structure. Structure has to do with all those hard components you can put your hands on. One side has to do with chemistry. Chemistry is anything that's outside your body, and we can call it chemical electric, things that you eat that you shouldn't be eating, things that you need more of that you don't get enough of. Electromagnetic fields, the pollutions, the additives, all the junk that's out there. And the third is emotional stress. And you've heard me say many times that what's important about understanding stress is simply this. The body doesn't know the difference, neurologically or physiologically, of something that happens, impact, meaning from injury or biochemical insult, or something that you think about. The effect is absolutely, positively the same. So we developed this concept called Ageless Health, and over a period of years, we've kind of put this into different positions, but more importantly, the one thing, the keynote that we look at is our Ageless Health seminar coming up October the 18th. And October 18th is going to be a powerful day for you. It's a day that I promise you that if you're there, you're going to walk away with tools that can maximize your life, your capacity, far more than anything that you ever thought. Now, that's next Saturday. It's coming up. This is the last time that you have an opportunity to register for Ageless Health. Don't miss out. This won't happen again until next year. Ageless Health 2014, proven tools to maximize your health. I want you to be there with us. Learn how to take charge of your health and wellness without drugs, without surgery. That your perfectly designed body, your perfect situation where you are right now is ample enough to turn anything around. Are you ready? Are you really ready to take control of your life? Are you ready to create a greater wellness for everybody in your family? Then this is an opportunity that it's one day out of your life, one step, one day. Will you take that step with me? Will you be there with me? Will you take the action that you need to have? Will you commit to yourself so we can fix the things that are going wrong in your health or the things that will present themselves 5 years, 10 years from now. And the infirmity that goes along with it can go away. Ageless Health is the most incredibly effective way of learning how to create a health plan, a design that will change everything for you. Be there with me. It is an inexpensive day. We start out early in the morning while you're registering for the classes. You're walking in and milling around and looking at the things that are on display and so forth. We'll have a demonstration of core training exercise. We're going to show you how you can exercise any place, anytime, no matter where you're at. You don't need equipment. You just need to do a couple things. And if you did that a few minutes every day, you walked a few minutes every day, guess what? You just increased your ability to enjoy the moment, enjoy your life without impairment. Then, while you're there, we have teas and we have, a few things for you to nibble on, some organic eggs and muffins and so forth, and that's part of the whole program that's there. We're not going to sell them to you. We're giving them to you. And then I start out 8 o'clock in the morning, and we kick it off, and it's emotional, and it is direct, and it is impactful. And then every 45 minutes, a different speaker presenting some of the most comprehensive and intimate and right now information on integrative and natural care. And then at lunchtime, guess what you get? You get an organic lunch. We give it to you as part of the program. And you get to listen to Ann Abernathy, 6-time Olympian, Grandma Luge. And guess what? She's stepping up to 2016 Olympics as well as a 62-year-old at the time. 63, I think she'll be then. Find out how this woman does it. I mean, she's incredible. She hits it out of the park. And then we come back in and we soar again. And then we close it at the end of the day, and I show you how to put all the information that you've gotten, put it together in a package that will work for you. And you can take the step that's necessary that probably has been missing for a long time. We're going to talk about nutrition. Sue's going to be there. She's going to give you some very, very specific information on cortisol and how to get rid of it. I mean, that tire that you got around your gut, that pot belly that just won't go away, well, she's going to talk about it. She's going to tell you what to do. She's going to give you step-by-step action to do that. We're going to tell you what to ask your doctor when you go in for a physical and what he needs to do for you relative to laboratory tests. We're going to talk about the reason that allergies don't go away and how you can get rid of them and that you're not supposed to have allergies. We're going to talk about different type of injuries, small little guys that you put up with. Take 2 aspirin, call me in the morning. If the pain's not there or if it's just a little bit, we won't have to worry about it. Well, guess what happens? 5 years later, you have a problem that is monumental. There's going to be a beautiful Tai Chi, a Chinese Tai Chi Guan demonstration at lunchtime while you're having your lunch. It's going to be incredible. It is one of the most beautiful, energetic presentations that I think you will ever have the opportunity to see. Please be there with us. All you have to do is go to agelesshealth2014.com or go to rosellecare.com, ROSELLECARE.com, and click the button and register. Get it done today. Don't waste any more time because this is the week. This is all there is. It's next Saturday, the 18th. And we're going to hit it out of the park. And then when I'm here next Sunday talking to you, I'm going to say, you missed a day that you shouldn't have missed. Now you got to wait another year. Ageless Health 2014. Register now. Don't forget, there's going to be books available and audios available. There's a gluten-free lunch. You're going to be registered for $1,000 worth of health care. You have to be there to get it. There's gifts that are going to be given to you from many vendors, people who want you to know about their stuff. We're going to show you so many different things that you can't possibly even begin to imagine. Join me next week with some really amazing speakers, incredible people that really know their stuff. Ageless Health 2014. Register now. Don't wait anymore. 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. Love to talk to you today on anything. And just remember the rules. Don't wait to the end of the program because I always leave like 5 or 6 of you on. Now's the time to call because it's just me and you. But let's talk about some things that are important. There was an article that got my attention, and the reason it got my attention is because one of the most debilitating processes that I've come across in all my years of practice is Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. And once it hits, depends on where it hits in your body, whether it's in your lower extremity or in the upper extremity, it tells you basically how long you're going to make it. About 75% of the people that end up with Lou Gehrig's, that diagnosis, unfortunately, it's not super common, but it's not uncommon either, have about 5 years from the time of diagnosis. But, there was an interesting article, and much is being done with stem cell regeneration and so forth. But in the Journal of the American Medical Association, in their neurology section, I try to read as much of this as I possibly can over time, they were talking about people who consumed very, very high levels of omega-3 fatty acids. And remember, there's omega-3s, there's 6s, and there's 9s. And what they found over a study of 1,000 people that were involved in this study, and the study went on for a period of about 24 years, is that people who had high levels of omega fatty acids had a much fewer risk of coming down with Lou Gehrig's or ALS. It's incredible to me. When we start talking about omega-3s, what we're talking about is inflammatory reactions within the body that are there because of the free radical damage that we're doing because of our stress levels, because of our environment, because of the things that we do to put up with, if you will. And, in this study, these individuals with higher intakes of omega-3s, the conclusion, as I said, was the reduced risk, but also it showed the retardation of the advancement of the disease as well. The lead researcher was a doctor by the name of Fitzgerald out of Harvard School of Public Health in Boston, and she really, brought focus to the idea of how essential, how important omega-3 was. The flip side of this was that people who consume high levels of omega-6 have a greater risk of all kinds of degenerative processes and damage to their body on a lot of different levels. And then we go on and we can talk about our old friend vitamin D again if we'd like to, and the tremendous effect that it has. And unfortunately, most of you that are listening to me on the program today, 70 to 80% of you are vitamin D deficient because you live in this Washington metropolitan mid-Atlantic area, because after about September, the sun's no longer in a direct way that it can stimulate your cells, your melanin receptors, and it doesn't really take effect again until the end of April, going into the 1st of May. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. One of the things I want to talk about again today is the effect of low-dose aspirin on the body. Many people ask me that, even though we had a reversal in the position of the FDA on this. But let's go to the phones. Patty, thank you for calling. How can I help you?
Hi. I have had a medical mystery, which I'll tell you about. It started June 8th of this year, and I've been to your seminar, and I'm a big fan and follower.
Thank you,
so
Patty.
Try to stay pretty much on top of my health. This past June, we were in North Carolina visiting our family, and came home, 6-hour drive. We had the air conditioning on. I got out of the car. It was stiff as could be. I thought, well, I sat in front of the air conditioning. Never got better. I was just miserable. Went to the doctor, diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which we know there's no specific diagnosis, no tool for diagnosis. Okay. It went from bad to worse, and ended up, I really couldn't walk. So my primary care doctor sent me to an orthopedic guy, showed me the x-rays. I've just had knee replacement surgery on August 25th.
Great.
It has been one of the worst times in my life. I'm now doing really well with the right knee.
How about the rest of you?
The bad news is I need the other knee done. The rest of me is definitely getting better, but slowly. There's something, I was tested for Lyme's disease, and it came back negative. I was tested twice, but my gut sense is it was something like Lyme's disease.
Patty, it could very well be Lyme's, and let me tell you why. First of all, fibromyalgia, and I'm going to hold you over, by the way, because we're coming up to a break real quick now.
Sure.
But fibromyalgia is one of those, I call it the undisease. I wrote a paper on it probably about 5-6 years ago and called it the undisease. Mm-hmm. And it's because there is no definitive diagnosis in the medical community from the tests that they run. There's actually some tests that will show it, but there's a whole category that they miss completely. So hold that thought just for a second. I want to follow through with this for a minute or two when we come back after the break. Don't go away, Patty. This is Dr. Tom Roselle, author of Ageless Health. Health is a do-it-yourself program. My book, now also available in audio version, is a step-by-step program of how to take control of your health and wellness without drugs or needless surgery. You have the capacity to change your health and level of well-being. Take control of your health today and order Health is a do-it-yourself program.
For more information and to order, please visit agelesshealthbook.com. That's agelesshealthbook.com.
Finding out the Affordable Care Act isn't so affordable that you can't keep your doctor or you have to pay an annual fee just to be a member of a practice? That preventive care really means take this pill for the rest of your life? I'm Dr. Tom Roselle, and one day I will show you how to take control of your health and avoid a lifetime of drugs and probable surgeries. Join me for Ageless Health 2014, a day that will change your life forever. For details and registration, visit agelesshealth2014.com or call 703-698-7117.
105.9 FM and AM 630, Washington's Mall, WMAL, where Washington comes to talk.
Welcome back. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle live in studio, 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. Love to talk to you on any subject you have in mind. We're talking about a couple different things. We're going to get a little bit about aspirin in a bit or two here. But meanwhile, Patty, you're still online?
Yep.
Okay, so let me give you some quick data on fibromyalgia and pain patterns and so forth. And obviously we can't spend the whole program, but as I said, I wrote a paper some years ago called Fibromyalgia, the Undisease. And the reason for that is traditionally they will not do the right tests. So when they do standard tests, it doesn't show anything. But here's the guidelines. It's simply this. You have to have pain in all four quadrants of the body, not just one area of the body. The pain has to be persistent for at least 6 months. And it doesn't go away. It's there all the time. Then after that, depending on certain situations, it can ebb and flow, but it usually crescendos over a period of time. The pain pattern has these reactive points. They call them trigger points. There's 18 of them. The American College of Rheumatology says if you meet 11 out of the 18, then you got fibromyalgia. Well, in my business, where we relate muscle function to organ systems and so forth, some of these areas relate directly to calcium metabolism in the body, adrenal dysfunction, and intestinal tract, and so forth. So there's so many people that are told that they have fibromyalgia just because they have pain in one part of their body that just doesn't go away. That's not the definition. You can have pain that is persistent and you have a problem, but it doesn't meet the standards of fibromyalgia. So let's take it the next step. You said that you had a knee replacement and now they want to do another one and so forth. Yep. Anytime that you have a joint that needs to be replaced, basically if you backtrack it, it basically says that you have an inflammatory degenerative condition that has been going on for a period of time and the joint can't get enough sulfate ion to help it. So here's what happens. Patient goes in, and this is one of many things. We could talk about this for 3-4 hours. Patient goes into the doc. My shoulder hurts, my knee hurts, my back hurts. Doc says, here, take this, and usually it's either going to be a steroid, an anti-inflammatory, or some sort of aspirin, super aspirin substitute of some sort like Celebrex and their cousins, all right? So what that does is it competes in the receptor site of the cell of the joint. It stops the absorption. It knocks out the inflammation, but it stops the absorption of the thing that actually has to repair the joint, and that's called sulfate. And if it can't get in, then the joint just quietly now begins to degenerate even more so over a longer period of time. So we'll leave that aside. We'll talk about that in another program. But that's what happens with so many people. It just gets worse. Plus the fact, and what I'm going to talk about aspirin in a little while, about the huge disastrous side effects of all these people being put on 81 milligrams of aspirin, for years. Lyme's disease. Lyme's, unfortunately, is misdiagnosed, and it is becoming epidemic. Why is it becoming epidemic? Because it's passed through body fluids. It's passed not only by the tick, but also by other types of insects and mosquitoes and so forth. And they're just not telling us that. And it's, they kind of slide it under the carpet. Why isn't it easily diagnosed? Simply because of the fact that they won't run all the different bands of Lyme's because it's too expensive and insurance companies don't want to pay for it. So if you do a Western blot, which is the most common test, they only do a few of the bands. They don't do all of the bands. And they say, well, just because you have an exposure and they'll see the exposure, that doesn't mean you have the disease. Well, here's the thing. It's like being a little pregnant. You either are or you're not. You either have an exposure or you don't. And it can go to one joint space or it can go to one part of your body. It doesn't have to hit every place. Some people who have profound impacts by Lyme's are going to have things like, I'm going to feel lousy, I can't focus, I can't think, I can't do anything, I have to sleep all the time, my body aches and hurts. The symptoms are far-ranging, but you can also have a bad shoulder that was caused from Lyme's. You can also have a degenerative something or other that has been caused by Lyme's. Again, they don't do all the bands because the insurance companies don't want to pay for it. So that's what you're left with. But with the knee itself, the fact that you're into your second knee replacement tells me that you've got other problems in your body that are due to an inflammatory cascade that is due to either something that hasn't been resolved relative to injury patterns, something that you may be getting in your diet that even appears to be decent stuff, but for you it's something that's not good. It could be the intestinal tract going crazy because you have something called a permeable intestinal system. What does that mean? That means that the intestinal system is like a sieve, a very fine sieve, because of irritation over time that now is allowing toxin to be further absorbed in the body and joint spaces, catch it. And so you have all these things. It's individualistic based on the patient, their environment, their thought process, remember, structural, chemical, emotional. You have to put all those pieces together to fix anything. So, Patty, what's going on is if I can, you can get a hold of me, just send me a note on email, and I'll walk you through this, and I'll tell you what I would do if I was in your situation. Patty, thank you. I hope you can join us next Saturday as well. Appreciate it very much. Thank you for, letting me know that you've been there before. It's a great day, and it's a day that no one will ever forget if they attend. I promise you, this is a day that you'll take information home. You can apply it right away, immediately, tomorrow. We're coming up for a break, and when we come back, we're going to take your phone calls at 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. See you in a minute.
Dr. Tom Roselle Live continues now on 105.9 FM and AM 630 WMAL.
Welcome back. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle live in studio. Give me a call, 888-630-9625. That's 888-630-9625. Love to talk to you. Let's figure out what's going on with you and see if we can put a fix to it without drugs, without surgery, something that you can do that might not be invasive. And, what the heck? You got nothing to lose, right? Only get it better. Fix it. See what's going on and make a difference relative to how your body reacts to everything. Just remember, wherever you are right now with your health, you've had your finger in the pot. You've been stirring it up for a long period of time. And it's not, done to you. You did it to yourself in so many ways. And what I mean by that is sometimes just neglect, sometimes that you didn't have the data, you didn't have the information, or Fifth Avenue marketing got you to think differently than what's really the right thing to think about. So how would you like to fix that? How would you like to really know as much as you possibly can to get the tools? Well, then join me next Saturday, the 18th, at the Fairview Park Marriott Hotel in Falls Church, Virginia. It's a day that's going to knock your socks off. It's a day that we're going to present so much information that if you only take part of it and apply it, I promise you that your health is going to change. It can't help but do anything else. Join us. Join these absolutely phenomenal doctors that I'll have with us. You're going to listen to Ann Abernathy. You're going to be shown how to exercise. You're going to see demonstrations on Tai Chi, something that you can do at home on your own. It's a beautiful thing. Give me a call right now, 888-630-9625. Let's talk a little bit about aspirin. And, even though that it's been out there and, the FDA finally had to step up to the plate and said, guess what? We screwed up. And what does that mean? Well, they had to reverse their position on daily aspirin, and I was vindicated. Those of you listening to the program a few weeks ago heard a tremendous amount of excitement in my voice because I've been telling patients for years, don't take this stuff. Don't take it. And the reason you don't take it is because it causes exactly what they're telling you it's supposed to help. It causes heart attacks. It causes strokes. It causes cancer. It breaks down the lining of your stomach so now you don't have immunological defense for other types of bacteria. And by the way, with Ebola on the rise, aspirin's not one of those things I'm going to put in my body. It's not one of those things I want there. Just remember, the FDA concluded that the data do not support the use of aspirin as a preventive medication by people who have not had a heart attack, stroke, or cardiovascular problems. A use that is called primary prevention. In such people, the benefits has not been established, but risks such as dangerous bleeding into the brain or stomach or heart attacks are still very present. Actually, it increases your risk across the board. Why is this such a big deal? Well, let me tell you something. Bayer makes $1.27 billion a year in sales from that one product alone every year. Crazy, right? Well, that's just the way it is. $1.27 billion. Do not take this junk on a regular basis. You are causing yourself a huge problem. And the studies are known. They go back all the way to 2004 when the American Heart Journal published a study that said patients receiving aspirin treatment showed the worst cardiac outcomes, especially heart failure. So guess what? We knew that with Celebrex. We knew that with Baxter. That's why they took them off the market, because they were killing people. 81 milligrams is no different. It's still cumulative effect in the body over time. Ruth, how can I help you? Thank you for calling.
Yes, good evening, good afternoon, doctor. I wanted to know what is the normal glomerular filtration rate for a 76-year-old woman with diabetes?
You want to keep it out. The numbers are anything below 60, you're in trouble. So you want to keep it north of that. And it usually a result of a couple things. One, either the kidney's not working because the nerve roots or the energetics to them aren't being supportive, or you're not drinking enough water, you're very dehydrated, or you're drinking things or eating things that are dehydrating you in spite of the fact that you're putting things in the body. So that's the levels. You want to stay way higher than that. You want to stay at 80, 90, 100 relative to your filtration rate. As we get older, because we tend to not drink as much water and we tend not to support our diets properly, we tend not to get the exercise that we should be getting, we begin to see the GFR start to drop. And there's a lot that you can do about it. We just have to know a lot more about it. But that's the levels. You don't want it to go below 60. Once you get it below 60, and actually in my books you want to keep it above 70, you got a problem. Ruth, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. Gerald, how can I help you, sir?
Good afternoon, Dr. Sal. I'm just enjoying your conversation and your concept of mind, body, spirit. I'm getting older, or I'm aging, but I like to think it's gracefully. And I feel good, and I'm homeless right now, but I'm positive it's just a matter of saving up money to get a new apartment. But I want to ask you a question about the use of multivitamins and things like B-complex, testosterone boosters, things that can keep men healthy and youthful.
Okay. So, it's a broad brush. Again, another topic we could spend forever on, but let me just give you a couple guidelines. Any type of vitamin to begin with, you want to err to organic. Organic vitamins are the most usable in the body. Otherwise, you're getting synthetic, and you have the side effects of synthetic, or they're worthless, or they have a lot of fillers, they have a lot of additives, they have a lot of colorings. If you look on the side panel and it says, a lot of things that you don't even begin to understand, or they said, starches and stearates and so forth, that stuff's garbage. Get rid of it. Throw it out the window. If you're getting an organic product, it's like eating food, and that's where most of your good supplements come from. They come from organically raised foods and animal products and so forth, concentrated in a form that your body can use them. Not all nutritional supplements are the same. Not all of them are supportive in the same way. In our practice, we use a lot of herbs, we use a lot of enzymes, homeopathics, straight-out nutritional products, and we have 27 different laboratories that we use, because all of them are organic and all of them are top shelf, and they submit to inspection and so forth. But the reason that we use so many is that all of them prepare and produce products differently. There are combinations that are different, and they work differently. Okay, so for a man, let's get back to your question. For a man, exercise, diet, stress reduction are the primary things that you have to look at every day of your life. If you're not exercising, you're going to degenerate and debilitate. If you're not finding a way to break the stress patterns that really work for you and you're doing it all the time, I mean, gentle things, either prayer, meditation, whatever, your focus and direction is, or learning Tai Chi or yoga, going for a walk, listening to some gentle music, really enjoying the moment that you're in. Those things are critical. Your dietary patterns, again, less food as we get older, not as many calories at one sitting, grazing more, higher levels of protein. You've got to keep your protein levels up. If you don't keep your protein levels up, then your body's going to degenerate. There's 2 times in your life that you need more protein than at any other times. One, when you're growing and you're maximizing who you are as a human being, and the other piece is as we get older and we begin to degenerate. So if you do exercise, if you watch your diet and you do those things, life is great. Nutritionally, basics. There are good multiples out there that give you a lot of things. You don't want heavy hitters. You want to take a little bit several times a day. Vitamin D levels need to be high. Vitamin C levels need to be at least 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams a day just to start with. A man does not need as much calcium as a woman does. Your vitamin D levels, when you do a lab test, should be north of 50, preferably 75, 80 for good health and protection. A natural form of vitamin D, there's a lot of them out there. Go to places like Whole Foods and Mom's and Trader Joe's and so forth, and don't buy junk. Never buy synthetics, ever. You want to, as far as boosting testosterone, weight-resistant exercise is number one. Get in the gym, start lifting weights, and start doing strength training, not just the toning stuff. The other piece that you want to add to it, there's a lot of different things. For some people, there's vitamin E. We can talk about maca, and we can talk about tribulus, and there's the list really goes on. L-citrulline, L-carnitine. Those are things that are known to enhance the nitric oxide stimulators like arginine. Those things work as well. So that's where you start. I wish I could be much more specific, but the time and doesn't permit. Give me.
What about liquid versus solid?
Liquid always works better than solid, simply because most people can't digest anything.
Wonderful. Thanks so much.
You're welcome, Joe. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Edwin, how can I help you, sir?
Hey, I have a question about gout. I'm age 69, and I've had this. I've known about it since my late 30s. I have occasional flare-ups, for which I take indocin and/or colchicine, and now together, only as long as it takes to make the inflammation go away. I know there is some joint damage, and this is in my big toe, mostly the right, but occasionally it's on the left.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple quick questions. And do you drink coffee?
I do.
Get rid of it. Do you drink alcohol?
Only on occasion.
Okay, make the occasion very occasional.
Okay.
All right. If you do you eat a lot of shellfish or red meat or beans?
No, to all of the above.
Okay, so you're good shape with those. What you want to do is dramatically increase your alkalinity within the body, and you would eliminate, and I'm going to say this quickly, but my mantra, you have to eliminate sugars, sodas, coffee, black tea, fast foods, fried foods, alcohol, gluten, additives, preservatives, all the junk that goes into things. You want to air to organic. You want to make sure that your diet is really high in green stuff and colorful things. The amount of protein that you get should be limited. When you have gout, you want to do it from fish and chicken and turkey and things of that nature, and take it down to about 75 grams a day until you get it under control. How you can shift your diet or your chemistry on your own. Go to the store and get yourself Bragg's Organic Apple Cider Vinegar, and take 2 tablespoons and a little bit of water on an empty stomach every morning. And that will begin the process. Black cherries, baking soda will also shift the body. Beet juice, cod liver oil. If you want to make a broth out of black beans, that's you can cook the black beans and just take the water from the top of it and drink that. That also helps dramatically. There's a whole list of homeopathics that are out there when you get a flare up. I'd have to know which one to tell you which one to get. I'd have to know a whole lot more about you. Increase your water, your daily water intake. Half of your body weight in ounces is what you should be drinking every day. If you do those things, just those things, you'll begin to see a shift in the uric acid levels in your body and how your body metabolizes. Go for a walk if you're not out exercising, doing something, and walking's enough. Just go out and get yourself to walk 2 miles every day. And do the things I told you about. Do that. Let me know from email how I can help you. And I promise you can get a handle on this. There's no reason to have suffered with this all these years. What this is, gout is a failure of pyridine metabolism. It's a byproduct of liver function, and you have to get the liver to work properly. And you have to look at some of the other medications and so forth. Anyway, I hope that helps somewhat. Get a hold of me, and I'll make it even more specific for you. Sally, how can I help you?
Oh, hi. Yes, good afternoon. I have really two short questions. Number one, it was just either yes or no. Can one purchase some of these products from you? For instance, if you live, have relatives in Baltimore, could they order them for you, the products that you're talking about? It's either yes or no, without being a patient, because they're too far.
No.
The second thing is aspirin. You've mentioned aspirin if you had no heart attack. What about aspirin usage during or after heart attack?
Sally, there's too many other things that you can use that make a huge difference where aspirin is truly not necessary. Again, we go back to increasing fatty acid metabolism in the body. The omega-3s are critical. Borage, flax, the fish oils, and so forth. And it depends on the patient. And you want to get a good quality. You want to get it from a manufacturer that allows itself to be tested.
Excuse me, what about the omega-3 effect on someone who has Coumadin?
Again, I can't answer that question quickly, because if I tell you, Coumadin, as you know, is rat poison, is warfarin. And it begins to break if you see somebody that's bruising on the surface, they're bruising inside as well. Their organ systems are bleeding. Their muscle tissue is bleeding inside. Coumadin is a lot like aspirin. There's other things that you can do that make huge differences, but you have to see somebody who knows what they're doing. You have to get to a good functional clinical nutritionist, like my wife or myself. I don't take a lot of nutrition patients any longer, but there's people around that we can refer you to. Just go to my website, send me a note, and I'll give you a list of people who can work with you or anybody else. I mean, they're out there. They're top shelf people. They're excellent. They know what they're doing, and it has to be individualistic. Aspirin is a dangerous commodity. Now, if you take it because you've got a sore shoulder or something, you're doing it temporarily, it's not an issue. It's the long-term use of these substances that cause the body to begin to degenerate and break down and cause the side effects that we're talking about, and the combinations of these things. Some of the herbs that you take have aspirin-like effect in the body, and when you take them with aspirin, it intensifies, it enhances the problem. You've got to do your homework. Anytime you do something just because the white-collar doctor told you to take it, you're going to be in trouble. I can guarantee it. And, as I've said so many times, don't believe me. Don't believe anybody. Do your homework. My job is to create doubt in your brain for you to go out and take control. And remember, health is a do-it-yourself program. Remember my book? You should have a copy of it. We'll be right back after this important message.
Are you dental phobic? Do you neglect your dental health because of fear and anxiety? A beautiful smile begins with exceptional dental care, and you can trust in the expertise of Soft Touch Dental Care and Dr. Michael Chung. Soft Touch Dental Care is unlike any dentist office you'll ever experience. Their warm and welcoming environment is designed to soothe fears and anxiety the moment you arrive, and they're especially pleased to pamper their honored guest patients. Dr. Michael Chung is a professional and leading expert in all areas of comprehensive dentistry, including cosmetic, sedation, neuromuscular, TMJ, and implant dentistry. Offering state-of-the-art technology, Dr. Chung can give you the smile of your dreams. Arrange for a complimentary consultation today with Dr. Michael Chung and experience the expertise that makes Dr. Michael Chung so unique. Call 703-319-6990. That's 703-319-6990. Or visit bestinsmile.com. That's bestinsmile.com.
Welcome back. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. You've been listening to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. I've been in studio. We're always live. There's a rare moment when we're not. But we're here because of one reason, trying to bring you the most important and intimate and detailed information on integrative and natural therapeutics. But more importantly, to give you the capacity to grab a hold and turn your life around, to make you understand that you have a choice, that you don't have to grow old with infirmity, that as you age, it's a matter of continuing the process. You know, as long as you're excited, as long as you're planning, as long as you're taking action steps, you can only become better. It's when we stop, when we think that it's over, that what do we expect for our age? That's when things become a problem and we begin to see disease and destruction. Find out what you can do to help yourself take control. Remember, Ageless Health 2014 is next Saturday, October the 18th. Go online, go to rosellecare.com, that's ROSELLECARE.com, or go to agelesshealth2014.com and register right now. Get it done. Because if you put it off, you're not going to do it, and you're going to kick yourself, and you're going to say, I should have been there, because you're going to hear people say that it was over the top, that the information that they got was so useful, so impactful, something that they never thought about before, and it's inexpensive day. It's $99. $99. It includes lunch, organic box lunch. It includes things to eat for breakfast as you're walking in and you're registering. You can grab a cup of tea, you can get a donut, or not a donut. God forgive me for even saying that word. No, you can get a muffin, you can get things that will help you through the day. It's a day that's going to be phenomenal. I promise you. You're going to learn how to exercise. You're going to see all kinds of things. I'm sitting here and I slipped, and Jeff's looking at me and he's saying, donut? You never say donuts, ever. Ever. Well, you know, Jeff, there are actually some gluten-free donuts, and but they don't come into my house. There's too much sugar in them anyway. But come on, join us. Be there next week, the Saturday, the 18th. Promise you, a day you'll never, never, ever, ever forget. You know, I'm going to have a class, and the class I'm going to do is how to teach you to read advertising, so you don't get duped by Fifth Avenue marketing. We were talking about it the other day in the office, and we need to have a class where we sit down and we show you prints of ads and we play different excerpts for you and show you how to filter through them and weed through them and show you which are come-ons and which are things that they really don't have all the data on, that you become the guinea pig. You're the ones that are testing the drugs for the pharmaceutical companies. You're the ones that all of a sudden start getting sick and start having some huge deleterious side effects, and they finally say, maybe this stuff doesn't work, so it disappears, or they rebrand it with all kinds of different things in there, but they never tell you what the deal is. Well, we intend to, every Sunday, right here, right on the dial that you're listening to, on WMAL in the Washington metropolitan area. I'll see you soon. I'll see you next week. If you join me at Ageless Health 2014, come up and introduce yourself. I know we're going to be over the top and running around like crazy, but stop me, shake my hand, and say, hey, okay? See you then. Bye. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. Finding out the Affordable Care Act isn't so affordable that you can't keep your doctor, or you have to pay an annual fee just to be a member of a practice? That preventive care really means take this pill for the rest of your life? I'm Dr. Tom Roselle, and one day I will show you how to take control of your health and avoid a lifetime of drugs and probable surgeries. Join me for Ageless Health 2014, a day that will change your life forever. For details and registration, visit agelesshealth2014.com or call 703-698-7117. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. After 38 years of practice and almost 1 million patient visits, the Roselle Center for Healing knows what works and knows how you can take control of your health and wellness. My team of doctors practice 21st century integrative medicine. Whether you suffer from chronic pain and fatigue, allergies, or headaches, we can help. Take charge of your health before it's too late. Make an appointment today. Call 703-698-7117 or visit online at rosellecare.com.